Hey guys, Mr. Horton here with virtual backup lessons for Studio Art 1, Studio Art 2, and Film Appreciation and Cinematography. Okay guys, so the first step of this project was you guys picked your source image. You submitted that through Google Classroom. My source image is this picture of Wolverine that was done by the graphics artist, the head graphics artist for the new God of War game. Okay, so I have this picture of Wolverine. Now, what I did for you guys, I emailed you guys on Monday this in a folder. It's in your Gmail account. I took your picture. I drowned out all the color and I pumped up the positive space line. So it should be a black and white desaturated image. Now for some of you guys, this desaturated image made the line work look really, really clear. For others, it's more muddy, but you could still use the line work for the exterior line of the figure. It'll still help to some extent. The next picture you guys got is you got that same black and white picture, but with a grid applied. Now this grid is going to be what you use to draw most of your picture for this project. So again, all three of these images are in that folder that I sent to you guys in your Gmail. So your very first step of what we're doing for this class assignment is you're going to pick what color paper you're going to use. Now everyone has 4 sheets of this toned paper in their folder in 2 colors. So you have a brown, you have a blue. It's 2 and 2. So you're going to pick whatever one you think is better. I think on mine the blue is going to be better. Honestly, it doesn't matter so much. It's kind of preference. So I'm going to pick one of the sheets of the blue, and I'm going to put the additional 3 sheets over someplace else. Next step, I am going to remove the fringe of the paper. I'm going to do this very carefully. Next step, get my ruler. Okay, I'm going to get my number 2 pencil. I'm going to get an eraser just in case. Okay, now I'm going to put the ruler down at the edge of the page, and I'm going to line it up. And on the long way, it should be 12 inches exactly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a check mark every half inch the entire ruler length. Let me see if I can zoom in on this just so I can show you guys. I'm going to line this ruler up with the edge of the paper right there. And I'm going to do a check and 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 a check. Okay, I'm going to do this around the entire border of the paper. Okay, so here I am now with checks all around every single border of the paper. The 12 inches down here, the 12 inches up here, the 9 inches on the side, the 9 inches on the side. This should be all the way around. Now the next step of this is going to be the one that you have to go super, super slow with, and use the number 2 pencil. Don't press too hard. Okay? If you mess up, just try to erase it, but please go slow. I cannot say that enough. So what you're going to do, you're going to take your ruler. You're going to line it up with the first check mark, bottom left, and you're going to line the upper part of the ruler up with the upper left check mark. So check mark to check mark. And I'm going to draw a line going across the entire page. And I'm going to do this for every single line going left to right, all the way across. I'm expecting this to take you guys, it's probably going to take you guys like 15 minutes. So please go slow. Do not make diagonals. Go check mark to check mark. Be right back. Okay, so here we are back, and I've gone across left to right, and I've done numerous lines check mark to check mark. I am now going to do the same exact process from top to bottom, with the check mark starting over on the bottom right and the one on the bottom left. Same exact process. I'm going to line it up on both sides. I'm going to go super slow. I'm not going to press super hard. I'm going to draw a line, and I'm going to do this check mark to check mark going all the way off the page. Be right back. Okay, so now I'm back, and I've done the whole page. It's a grid, okay? Clean, and again, this should have taken you probably 15-20 minutes total going slow. All right, hopefully none of you guys did diagonal lines. If you did do diagonal line and it completely screwed up, remember you have the back of the page And you also have a second sheet of the same color paper. That's why I gave you guys 2 sheets of each color, okay? Just in case this happens. So if you messed up a bunch, hopefully you didn't. So next step, I'm gonna take my pencil and I'm gonna go into the end of the first box and I'm gonna just, I don't have to use a ruler for this. I'm just gonna kind of trace this because it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but I'm just gonna kind of bold. And now I have this bordered outline on the edges. I'm gonna take my Sharpie now and I'm gonna put actually, I'm not even sure you guys have a Sharpie. Use your pencil for that. I don't think you have a Sharpie in your bag. I don't know if I gave you guys one. Use a pencil. I'm going to X out the corners. So at each corner box, I'm going to put an X because that's not active in what we're doing. And now, next step, I'm going to go on the long end right down here, and I'm going to start in the bottom left corner, and I'm going to start with a number 1, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, to 22. I'm going to do that same thing up here, same numbers. 1, 2. Okay, now that I got that, I'm going to spin this to the short end. And starting over at the bottom left side next to the X, I'm going to start with A. And I'm going to go A, B, C, D. Should stop at P. Okay? Before you get to the next X. Now, up top, I'm going to do the same exact thing again. Top left. A, B, C, D. Again, stopped at P. So right now, you guys are looking at a grid like this. You guys need to photograph this with your phones. This is the image you guys are uploading to the Google Classroom for your classroom grade. It has to look like this. I mean, there's going to be slight variation in the font you guys use on the lettering, but for the most part, all of your guys' ones should look like mine right here. Okay? The next step of this project is going to be the long one. We are going to be penciling out the actual drawing, starting the class after this one. But yeah, take an image of this, send this to me. All good.